Hello, Trail Travelers. It's Carrie with, Trail Traveler. And today we're going to talk about how we go about finding a lot of the trails that we go on. So stay right there. We'll be right back. Okay, so how do we go about finding a lot of the trails that we go and do? And we're out every weekend unless the Jeep is down or the weather isn't permitting or we have some travel plans that we have to do. But generally, we're going to hit trails about 48 weeks of the year. So it's a lot of trails to try and find, figure out what's going to be fun, what's going to be interesting for us to do, what's going to be available during the winter, which is now coming up on us very quickly. So there's different things that we have to take into consideration. So how do we find these trails? And some people say Gaia. And Gaia GPS is a great app, and we do utilize Gaia as well, but I'll get to that in a little bit. There's also fantastic websites such as alltrails.com, trailsoffroad.com, traildamage.com. There's Onyx Offroad, there's Cotrex, there's a number of different apps and websites that you can go to try and find different trails. Now, our favorite is the Trails Off-Road app, and we have been running it on our iPad and our iPhones. And when we're on trails, the iPad is sitting up connected to the dash so that we can see the display, which you can see right here. And as we kind of zoom around, we can find an area that we want to go to, click on a trail. It'll give us the information. That's a red cone. And we can read some of the highlights about it. The mandatory technical rating here is 5 with an optional of 7 with really good descriptions and waypoints. And now I can say I want to favorite this so I can get back to it. And then if we're at the trailhead, I can hit follow. I also want to point out here we have website, which is going to be the Trails Off-Road website, which it will just bring right up and we can get to the information there about it. Or now if I go done and I hit directions, it'll let me use either Google Maps or Apple Maps to go from wherever I'm at to the trailhead. My favorite feature is follow. So once we're at the trailhead, we hit follow, and now we have all these different waypoints along the way. Here we've got the trailhead at 0.44 miles, a rock obstacle, then a creek crossing, then another rock obstacle. We can read more, get information about it. So it gives us a lot of information about what to expect on the trail, things that are interesting that we want to highlight, points of interest that we want to make sure that we see, all kinds of cool information. Now, what's really cool is as of today, which is actually Thanksgiving, there is now the same application available for Android. Previously, it's only been on iOS devices. So like I said, we've been running it on our iPad and iPhones, and now we can run it on Android tablets. So the app itself is free. So you can download it and start using it, no problem. However, there are all access trails, and that's going to give you more information. There's going to be more trails that you can find. And to me, it's worth the subscription rate. I think it was $30 a month or $30 bucks a year or $35 a year, something like that. Now, let's kind of go through some more things in the app here. We have our favorites. So I have a handful of favorite apps, or not apps, handful of favorite trails that we've done that are in here. And it has offline mode. So right now I have the Colorado and Utah maps downloaded. And if I was in other areas, I could download those. Now, the majority of the maps in here are going to be in Colorado and Utah, which is fortunate because I wheel mostly in Colorado and Utah. So for me, this is perfect. But if you look at some of these, Alabama has 9 trails, Alaska 12, Arizona 386 trails in Arizona. So quite a few there. Arkansas, California 522 trails, 165 in Florida. So there's quite a few trails there. And you can see some of these, like Kentucky has 4 trails, but there's 162 all access trails. So you would need the subscription to get to all of those trails. So tons and tons of trails available here. And when you've downloaded it, then you can do it offline. You don't need to be connected to the internet. So I have my settings here, and I don't know why it keeps reverting all the stuff back to different modes. I've saved this several times, I think. Maybe I have to change it in every place, not really sure. But you can enable the map rotation, enable map tilt, map telemetry, app analytics. Sure, I'll help them send data there. So now I think if we tilt it, yeah, we can have different orientations. I prefer this wide mode. It works really well for us. So I don't know why I would change that back to allow the tilting aspect, but it works great. And over on the Android side, same thing. It looks like it's got the same stuff: standard units, miles. Yep. So it looks like it's got basically all the same features to it. So yeah, if you're looking for a good off-road app, get Offroad. And if you search on that, that's what you should find. It's called Offroad. But the easier way of finding it is to type in Trails Offroad either into the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and you can find it pretty easily. I do highly recommend getting the subscription. I think it's well worth it for the number of trails that you get access to. There's also different layers: the terrain, street, and satellite view. And satellite view can be really handy if you are looking at other trails in the area that may not be on here. So great app, very, very useful for us. It is our #1 app. Okay, now let's talk about something else here. Let's go and pick just any old trail here. Okay, and now if I go to website, there's a couple interesting features on here. Okay, once we're on a place, we can scroll down. Status, seasonal closure, that's really good to know. And down here are some really cool features. We can upload directly to Gaia GPS. And Gaia is really cool when you're driving around off-road, because you can have your offload or your offline maps, and it will work on the large Uconnect screen on the Jeep. So you can just have it running right there on the screen. So we will typically have that going, connected to the phone, connected to the Uconnect, so it's running the Gaia app, and then we'll have the iPad running the Trails Off-Road. We have directions to the trail, add to favorites, share the trail, print the trail, or download the GPX. So sometimes, the connection to Gaia hasn't worked. I can just download the GPX and then upload that to Gaia, and that works fine. Or if you have some other application that can use the GPX files, you can just download that and use those files. So I am a huge fan of Trails Off-Road. We've ran into them on the trails before. They're always out there. I've met them at trade shows. They're this super nice guys, and I really support them. I get no money if you sign up. So I have no affiliate link. I have nothing but praise for the app, because it is what we use pretty much every weekend. So that's our way of finding trails. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Kerry with Trail Traveler. Be safe out there. We'll see you on the trails. Bye-bye.